All right, so kicking it off with a quick introduction of Half the Sky, we are a leading career platform that focuses on connecting female job seekers with equal opportunity employers. So we offer a women's career network, skills training, and a growing list of opportunities at companies that care, and giving you expert career advice to help you make that leap in your career. As an advocate for diversity in the workplace, our mission is to level the playing field for women at work and to help companies build a diverse and robust workforce. All of this to inspire more women to achieve their career aspirations. You can check our platform out at www.halftheskyasia.com. And our host for today is none other than Sabrina Ho. You know her as the CEO and founder of Half the Sky. Based in Singapore, Sabrina has over 15 years of recruitment experience across Asia Pacific, and she founded Half the Sky in 2019 with the mission to level the playing field for women at work. She's a sought-after contributor, moderator, and speaker on the topics of diversity, the future of work, and leadership. She has also been recognized in the Singapore's 100 Women in Tech 2021, Prestige 40 Under 40, and was a judge on the Peaks Power List. And Sabrina has been featured as well on LinkedIn, Workforce Singapore, Channel News Asia, Elle Magazine, Tatler, Prestige, and among many other publications. And today, of course, we are joined by Johnson Controls, one of our companies that care. So they are the largest pure play global powerhouse in intelligent buildings, leading the charge with a broad profile of technologies. Johnson Controls is in 90% of buildings worldwide and have over 135 years of innovation experience operating in 150 countries all over the world. So they are a trusted leader with the world's largest portfolio of intelligent building products, technologies, softwares, and services. And with a focus on health, well-being, and productivity, they are centered on creating human-centric, connected, and dynamic spaces for the future of smart and sustainable buildings. And in Asia Pacific, they have a total of 17 manufacturing sites, 8 R&D centers, 260 branches, and 28,000 employees across China, India, the Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, Japan, Thailand, and South Korea. So aside from this, Johnson Controls is always empowering their employees to build community relations, to grow diversity and inclusion, and to build a positive workplace culture. And one of the incredible examples of this is their broad range of business resource groups, which are completely employee-driven and open to all employees. They currently have 9 BRGs, each comprised by JCI employees with similar backgrounds, experiences, and characteristics, who all share common interest in professional development, improving corporate culture, and impacting business results. So these range from the Women's Global Network to an Asia Pacific BRG, Global Sustainability Network, JC4E, recognizing LGBT employees, Onyx and Unidos for Black, Hispanic, Latino employees, and many more. And now, please allow me to introduce our talented panel of speakers from JCI who are joining us today. We have Cicci, the Executive Director and General Manager, and APAC IR and Global Solutions. So Cicci is a true leader in the industry. She's the driving force for refrigeration product and technology in Asia Pacific, having held multiple past leadership roles. She was the Vice Chairman of the China Refrigeration and the IIAR International Committee member, among many, many others. In the past, she has received a 2021 Forbes Women in Tech Award, the Extraordinary Women of the Year for Golden Chain, and JCI Global Sales Master. We also have Chloe Lee joining us. She is the IT Business and Data Science Lead for APAC and Singapore for Johnson Controls. Her background as a highly experienced data science professional has led her to being selected as one of Singapore's Women in Tech for 2021, while she has a strong track record of creating business impact through data, machine learning, and deep learning. Chloe is also very passionate about growing talent, driving diversity, including encouraging more representation of women in the workplace. We also have Fanny Zhang joining us. She has over 20 years experience in the HVAC compressor R&D project management and has joined JCI back in 2002, 20 years ago. So Fanny leads the chiller screw compressor engineering team while leading product development, technology research, the VAV projects, and team development. And as the key director of Women's Global Network, she is one of the key people in driving D&I in the workplace and empowering fellow women in tech. Fanny is an active learner with a passion to learn and explore new technologies and management-related fields with a very big growth track record in JCI. And finally, we are joined by Divya. She is a human resources professional with experience in translating business challenges into organization strategies for managing talent. With over 20 years of experience, Divya is currently the Director of HR for Johnson Controls India with the commercial function for APAC. And in earlier roles, she has worked with the GE Global Research, GE Healthcare, GE Enterprise Solutions, and Asian Paints. So Divya's interest lies in change management, talent assessment and development, executive coaching, and M&A. So welcome to all our incredible panelists. We're very excited to have you today, and I will now pass the floor to Sabrina.
Thank you so much, Bianca, for the amazing introduction. And hello, everyone. Welcome to our amazing event, partnered together with Johnson Controls Women in Tech, how to get in, to thrive, and how to excel. So for our fireside chat, we will divide it into 4 parts. So part 1, we're going to get to know our panelists a little bit deeper and the career journey and role in Johnson Controls. And part 2, the panelists are going to share with us how we can all get into the tech industry. And part 3, we're going to discuss being a female professional working in the tech industry and how we can thrive. The final part, our part 4, the panelists are going to share tips on how to excel and advance our career in the tech industry. So without further ado, we're going to dive straight into part 1. So panelists, we're super excited to be joined by all of you, and you all have very diverse roles in the organization, and you all are breaking boundaries for women in tech. So my question to you is, can you tell us, our audience more about yourself and what you do at Johnson Controls? What led you to your career here? Divya, you want to go first?
Thank you, Sabrina. It's glad to be here, and also with all those audience here. Now we have these over 600 audience here, so that is a very, exciting moment to have a lot of people. We have this common interest and also common desire to be a good best of us. So yeah, Sabrina, this is a very good question. Actually, when we go back to see my career life, and I've been different role in this organization. So I got a great opportunity in Johnson Controls. So every 2 years I either change my role or have extension of my responsibility. So I've been project engineering, application design, and marketing, key account management, sales, and operation, and the GM, and also the R&D product management. So different role that just gave me a very good, learning opportunity. So I could learn everything new. Then also that is explore this new opportunity to myself, to the team, and also to our business and our company. So I think that is, led me to this position, or maybe, the job I'm doing, but that is not only the job, it's just also the one of these, my dream to be here. So I think that is, just the one things I would like to share with everyone. And I could be using one word like this live. That is from this learning, then we could have this experience, then we have this application, then we can using what we learn, and also what we got this knowledge or the skills, then apply to our daily work, then also get the feedback. So I think that's a perfect circle to describe my career life, and also that is so that to share with everybody here. Yeah.
It's such a happy event. I'm very happy to join with everyone else on this happy occasion. So hello everyone, I am Chloe and I'm based in Singapore. I'm the data science lead for APAC. I have been working in the data field since the beginning of my career, and I joined Johnson Controls back in 2019 because it was such an exciting opportunity for me to start the new data science practice in APAC and in a company with more than 135 years of history. Yep, that's about me.
So I have a nearly 30 years experience. Though I'm not a woman in tech, unlike Cicci and Chloe, but I do count myself as a woman in tech. I'm an HR professional, and I have worked in tech teams. So really, have been that's been my career journey. I started. With a manufacturing organization. I worked in a factory as HR for the the factory and research technologists. I went on to join GE, like you said in my introduction. And that was, I was part of the team that set up the tech center in India, and it was the starting of the technology journey in India. GE was one of the front runners, so was part of the team to to bring in a lot of the new culture, if I can call it, that we were trying to introduce, to move away from perhaps a more traditional Indian thinking. And I'm talking about it because we as women, that's one of the big biases perhaps that was there in the country. I think I was part of that journey, and then I joined Tyco. I led India. I led India and the Middle East, and now I'm in Johnson Controls, leading India and commercial for APAC. So yeah, very briefly, that's my introduction. I will add a small anecdote if I'm not running out of time, which is when I first joined my first job. Uh, and on day one, when I wanted to use the restroom, that's when the company realized there was no women's restroom. I was the first woman to have ever been hired into that company. And it was a big blue chip company. We're not talking small time mom and pop shop. So, we can get through anything and we can succeed. So, with that, back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you so much, Divya. And you would have, well, I would have thought this is something that you see in a movie. There's no female toilet at, huge company, but it happens. But now we are changing the scene. And thank you so much, Divya. And we have our last panelist, Fanny.
Yep, thank you, Sabrina. Hello, everyone. I'm Fanny Zhang. It's such a pleasure to be part of this great event. I'm working on compressor in Johnson Control. Not everybody realize compressor is the heart of air conditioning system. I joined in Johnson Control when I got a bachelor degree in thermodynamic and power engineering from Xi'an University in 2002. So in the past 20 years, I have been working on many different work, with multi roles, and gradually grew up from a junior engineer to a senior one, and then to a leader role. And in the 50th year at GSI, I chose to study in Shanghai Jiaotong University and achieved, my master degree in project management. So it has been a great learning curve for me here. And actually, I identify myself with purpose, with Johnson Control. Everybody knows Johnson Control is a global leading company in HVAC industry with business across the world, and it has such a broader product portfolio. And I think it's quite interesting, being part of it to start a career here. This is my first job, and I do hope this is the last one. And GSI also has a strong vision, and agenda to create a better world. I really enjoy the culture here. It's open, diverse, and inclusive. People actually are respected, quite professionally, regardless age, gender, or background. So all of this really appeal to me. So it's quite about me.
That's awesome, Fanny. And it's absolutely inspiring to see that, all of you panelists are in different career paths, but at the same time thriving within the industry. So panelists, you all know, people outside of the tech industry may have this perception that if you want to break the tech, you have to be a technology whiz. So Chloe, being in data science, dealing with very technical fields such as machine learning, artificial intelligence, I would presume you will have a lot of training in order to gain the skills needed to be succeed in these fields. So for professional who wants to move into the tech industry, how important would you say their technical skills need to be? Let's say someone who wants to work at a company like Johnson Control.
Oh, that's a great question, Sabrina. So I think the amount and the importance of technical skills would vary with different roles, even within the data science domain. So I think in general, there are two things that really matters. Number one is having strong interest and curiosity. And number two is to keep learning. So for me, actually, most of the technical knowledge that I'm using today are gained through the workforce after joining work. So I think this is also true for most of the data science professionals out there. Also, something to keep in mind is that there is always something new being invented. So I would say don't worry too much about having enough knowledge or not. What's more important is to show that you are always learning. And back to the practicals. So for someone who wants to start a career in tech, my first advice would be to first act on your curiosity and interest. Then you already set your first foot in the door. We're living in this age of information, so I would encourage everyone to use career platforms like Half the Sky to study the roles and job descriptions, which usually tells what are the experiences and knowledge required in the position, and also use it to expand your professional network. Then I would recommend to make full use of online learning materials. We all know popular platforms such as LinkedIn Learning, Udacity, Coursera, and these are all very great for guided and practical learning. It's also very beneficial to have hands-on experience. And companies like Johnson Controls, we are very passionate about nurturing the next generation of talents. So I would say for students, do try to look out for internships in positions that you're interested in. Yep. And then for, mid-career professionals, they want to, break into this field. I think besides what's mentioned, you can first see if there's opportunity within the company and look for internal transfer in order to gain that first hands-on experience. And sometimes there are government-sponsored study programs. So, for example, in Singapore, we offer the mid-career pathway program for Johnson Controls. And last but not least, some people actually they go the extra mile to earn professional certificates or degrees to change their career direction.
That's awesome, Chloe. And thank you for the shout out on Half the Sky. I definitely owed you a lunch for that.
Thank you.
And Chloe, do you have any tips for career switchers? Because for the past 2 years, the pandemic really have a lot of people rethink their career. So, and a lot of people obviously think about switching to different career and industry as well. And technology is the hottest industry that a lot of people want to get into. So any advice for career switcher?
Like I mentioned, for career switchers, so the first rule of thumb is always to act on your interest. Then you already have the extra energy that's required, and it's always easier to look for similar functions inside the company that you are working for at the moment. So that's the internal transfer that I mentioned about, and then make use of all the online platforms, join platforms like Quora, Medium to gain the knowledge and catch up on industry trends. And when you find a topic that you're interested in, use learning platforms to study domain-specific knowledge, and use career platforms to search for jobs and study what are the specific experiences required. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chloe. And my next question is, technology has traditionally been perceived as a male-dominated industry. It will be, very useful to talk about some of the common misconceptions that exist around being a woman in a career in tech. So as women, we all know it does exist. So panelists, what are the myths and misconceptions you have heard or encountered that you will debunk about being a woman in tech? And on the other hand, what did you wish you knew sooner about the industry? Fanny, you want to go first?
Absolutely, Sabrina. I'd like to share, what I observed, around me in my life, probably a little bit story. I still remember when I was a young girl studying in high school, girls were most likely to be encouraged to select the liberal arts instead of science. Students have to make choice between both, in the third year of the high school in China. And just because, girls are typically considered not such suitable or like inferior to boys on science. So many girls, just, give up to step into STEM field due to this kind of stereotype, or even though they might have, strong interest, in that. I was still very impressive that, there were only 5 girls in my class in my university. Out of total 31 students, 16% female. If we look at the proportion of women working in technology, the number is much less than men. And if you look at the female leaders number, it's even lower. So I think this may cause some concerns, for women who want to pursue a career in technology, since they may think they could be limited, just by the gender, or it might be too difficult for them to succeed. So here, the question: are women suitable for to work in technology, or technology is not the strength of women? I think these questions are misconceptions when they are being asked. This may imply that, women power might be underestimated even by themselves, right? So I think, right now with the social progress, I think we are lucky to live in a more inclusive world, and we are providing more opportunities of learning and development in Korea in technology. And many women actually make great achievement, right? And serve as models in technology. And a lot of successful female leaders around us, you can easily see. Just like, I can in the panelists or in our audience, right? So we have to admit technology needs more women, and women make technology different. If I look back, I wish I could get more information about the STEM, earlier, maybe from my school life, to understand how it connects with our life and how to impact our life. And I wish I could be told, STEM or science could be my first choice as my career. And then I might find more interest on technology from a young age, and, select it instead of being selected. Because, my major in university, actually, I was selected. So, so I can prepare myself better for the industry earlier. Yeah, so this is my story, Sabrina.
Thank you, Fanny, so much for your sharing. Chloe?
I would just share one small misconception that I would debunk was my personal observation. So oftentimes I have heard that it's difficult for women to become leaders in technology. And I would say that's definitely not true. So from my professional experience, some of the best leaders I have encountered are all women.
Thank you, Chloe. Cicci?
Thank you, Sabrina. That's a great questions. And if I would, consider what status I would, I have heard or encountered during my career life, I think that is one word we would use, tough. Yeah, normally people, when you think about the woman in, in industry or in tech, will be the tough. But I think that is not the wrong words. And also that is, it's, maybe we could sometimes use the change it to strong. And that is that strong is a very important process for everybody. So we're gonna not be just stronger than men. Men is now our competitor. Actually, ourselves, previous old ourselves will be. Then we just being stronger than the previous us, and also we're just stronger than others. Yeah, I'm in this. Yeah, I can tell you a small story. Yeah, I've been in the industry refrigeration and been over 20 years. So I feel that it's quite often for me to sit in such a meeting room, just only myself and around the 20 male, customers or colleagues or peers. So that is quite normal. And also, that for industry, we are in this heavy industry, petrochemical, chemical, oil, and gas. A little soft will be this food and beverage side. It's just talking about the select house, the cold storage, not very soft, but also all this, yeah, we see that in this industry, a lot of dominated by these men engineers. And what we should do in this situation, I think we just have two tips. First, yeah, we've been stronger than previous us and stronger than the others. That's in terms of the tech knowledge and also the knowledge and also our experience, skills, people skills. Yeah, so a lot of things will support us in this situation. And the second tip is you're gonna to prepare yourself for these complex challenges. So that means when you being informed or you've been invited in such a situations, you already know, then you could have a lot of these preparations. So you just do your job and also be well prepared for those challenges. And you could see the results is coming natural. And also you will win the respect from men and from others. So that is what I want to share with us. Yeah.
Sabrina, if I can
Thank
add,
you so much, Cicci.
and I'm not a technologist, like I said, right? So I want to give an opposite example. When I look back, I wish I had understood the opportunities for leadership in technology. Somehow I had this bias that technology just means, I'll be working in a room, running simulations, etc. And I would get feedback that, oh, you're a natural leader, you're very good with people, so you should do an MBA. So the bias got into my head, and I was good at, I could have, I think, comfortably been in science and math, and yet I didn't have this concept. So I wish, if I look back, I had better mentoring, better guidance to say, here are the different options. And if in technology you're looking at a leadership career path, that is something that's very available for, for those who are interested, etc. Right? So maybe opposite kind of example from someone who did not go into technology.
Yes, yeah, I completely agree with you. And, for me, I wish I have, a role model for me sooner as well, so I can get in this amazing industry a lot sooner rather than in my 30s. So, Divya, I have this question for you as well. So, being a senior HR practitioner with over 25 years of experience, so when it comes to hiring women into their organizations and retaining them, what are some of the biggest barriers to entry and barriers to career advancement that we all need to be aware of?
That's a big question, right? So I think the biggest one, and I think someone talked about it, is biases, intrinsic biases. I find that, and really, if you talk to people, I don't think many of us realize the biases that we have about different things. And I think biases which center around women, what women can do, cannot do, are very deep rooted. And probably, a lot of men who pride themselves, men, women, who pride themselves on being very open, very diverse. But, if you really go into an in-depth conversation, you realize there are a lot of biases that we have. We jump to conclusions. One bias definitely is women who take a break in their career, right? And I want to specifically call that out because I myself am a person who took a break in their career to be a full-time mother. And when I wanted to come back into the workforce, I faced a lot of this bias, this very overt bias. Um, I remember getting into an interview, a good company, and, the hiring manager literally, I mean, after 2 minutes, he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that you had taken a break." I said, "Yeah, that's, the whole thing. I'm trying to come back into industry." And he was like, "I don't know why your resume has been forwarded to me. I mean, it's very obvious that you're not the right fit." And I did not even get the opportunity to really talk about why I thought I was ready to come back to the workforce, right? Finally, of course, GE gave me that opportunity, and I've had a great career after that. But the point I'm making is about biases. Um, we have biases. I see this again in our teams, and this is not just in tech. I see it in sales. I see it elsewhere, where if you really find out, if you talk to the manager, why did you not give this opportunity or this program to this woman who was probably better qualified? And the answer is, "Oh, I'm just trying to protect her. I know she has two small children. It'll be very difficult for her. It's going to mean late night calls. Let me help her by not overburdening her. So, this special program, let me not give it to her." And this person doesn't think they are being non-diverse or non-inclusive, right? They are genuinely thinking they are trying to help. So I think this is a very big sort of gap, or that women have to kind of cross. um, and I think apart from that, I think there's one more thing that I will talk about, which is imposter syndrome. I think most of us women, even as we see success after success, I I cannot tell you the number of women who tell me, "I'm not sure. I think I got this by luck, and now I'm a little scared." And so this somewhere deep down, all these biases that we've heard, all these mindsets that we've heard as since we were children, I think it we ourselves get impacted. And I have had innumerable conversations with women who, let's say a woman who wants to quit work and, leave the workforce. And I'm like, "Believe me, you can balance if you want to try." And they're like, "No, no, I don't think it's possible. I'm not that great at my work that I'll be able to also manage a family." Or, there is a big promotion coming up, and if I talk to a woman and say, "Why don't you apply?" And they're like, "No, no, I'm nowhere near ready." And I can't, as an HR person, I can't tell them that, the other person who has applied is even less qualified than you, but they felt comfortable and they felt confident to apply. So, and you can't share that, in a very specific situation. But really, when I see that, I feel, oh my God, we are holding ourselves back sometimes. So, if I have one message with all of this, I would say believe in yourself. I know it sounds very kitschy, very, you've heard it from everybody. I really do mean it though. You're here because you worked and you deserved to get here. So take that next leap, take that opportunity, take that special program, take that high visibility project, because you can do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Divya. And I think, what I've learned from your sharing is, just do it and we'll figure it out later. So now we're moving into our part 3 of our fireside chat. So we're going to discuss being a female professional working in the tech industry and how we can all thrive. So panelists, you all provided some great insights and tips on how to develop a career in tech. Now we need to discuss how we can grow and thrive in it, which is often easier said than done. When we talk about thriving, what would you say are the 3 most important elements to set yourself up for success? If you have to narrow it down, does it involve adopting a specific mindset, work-life balance, building a strong relationship with your manager or colleague? So Cicci, you wanna go first?
Thank you, Sabrina. That is a tough question, but it's also an excellent question as well. Yeah, actually, when I saw this one, and I considered, multiple answers in my mind, and now I would like to talk about something, top 3 from nature instead of the skills. So there's a lot of manager books you could read. There's a lot of skills you could use. But from the nature as people, as a woman, and we could have top three from my own experience. I would see the first is trust. As Divya also mentioned, believe in yourself. Then the trust is trust yourself, trust your team, trust the people around you. Then you could, only trust can win back the trust. Then you trust yourself, and you have this self-esteem. You could see, you could learn everything, you could grow to whatever you want to be. And also you trust the team, and you could working together to lead a big team and let the whole team to this direction or the future we want to be. And also trust the people around you is that, you could work well with the other peoples. You got this networking and also very good relationship internally and externally. So Sabrina, as you mentioned earlier, so, not only in Johnson Controls, so we are very important in those big society and also there's a whole industry. So we're going to build up those relationships with this trust. Yeah. So I think that's the first tips from nature is trust. And the second is open. Yeah, so that's not only this is, open can be very wild conception here is we can be open-minded, open-eyed, and open-hearted. So this is give us, this curiosity to consider anything new in front of us. And also that is we could have those adoption concept in mindset, and we could using all these new things in our current jobs or our future plan as well. So, and also open-hearted, you could accept the different person and the different opinion. So that is very important to everybody, especially when we from those individual contributor to a team leader. So open will be this very important skill and also the nature you should have. And the third one is I would see caring or the sympathy. And you got to understand that the people is okay to have different opinion. And also you could understand others and they could have those concerns and issues and ask those questions. And we may not have answer immediately, but we could working together. Yeah, so that's I think that's a 3 important nature from my own career and also daily life as well. So when you're talking about the work-life balance, we organize a lot of these female leadership forum, and also I heard a lot of the female leaders sharing as well. And then when they see this as a work-life balance, it's very important to women. But I think that is also very important to men as well. So work is part of our life, and also, we have at least, 1/3 or half our lifespan from this life length in this workplace with other peoples. If by density of our life, that's maybe with more. So we should consider work as part of our life, and we're going to have both, hands very strong, and that is also can benefit each other. the skills all those mindset we learn from our workplace also work well in our life as well. I mean, family life, and also those sympathy and other things we can carry also can go back to our workplace for the other people. So I think that those things is mixed, and also this could help us to build a very strong relationship with the people around us. So that will give us a very comfortable surrounding. Of course, challenges always here. So that's the normal life. We should just accept that and also welcome those changes. Yeah.
Thanks, Cicci, for your comment. That's great. And for me personally, in order to thrive, the three elements for me are, firstly, to keep a strong passion and interest. So to me, that's like the fuel for success. Why? Because thriving takes energy, right? And I think passion makes a good source for that. And the second element I would say is a learning mindset, and make this a habit and be comfortable not knowing. So you know that what we know, imagine what we know is a circle, and as we learn, as we expand, the parameter also expand, and that's when we know that, oh, there are a lot more there that we don't know. And that's the state that we're going to be in. Also, don't limit yourself to knowledge of a specific field, so that you have a balanced knowledge for making good decisions. And the third point is be brave. So like Sabrina, you have said, if there's something you want to do, just go for it. And Divya also mentioned this imposter syndrome, right? So I would say don't set barriers for yourself. When you want to do something, just do it.
So I agree with what we've got a lot of good advice from both Cicci and Chloe. So I'm just going to add one more thing, and this is in general, I feel, focus on your strengths. So, a lot of us get bogged down sometimes by what we don't have, something that, a degree I don't have, or, I don't have family support to come in, and spend long hours, or my previous manager told me I'm not good with blah, blah, blah. Focus on your strengths. Be self-aware, understand what you could, what you may want to underplay, or find a way to cover up, or enhance. But focus on your strengths. I find we don't spend enough time trying to understand what are the 2-3 things that have made us successful, whether it was through school, college, early career, and build on that. I think that really is, I would say, a differentiator for success. So that's one thing. And the second thing I will say is, it's okay to be ambitious. I think for too long, the word ambitious has had a negative connotation, especially for Asian women, because in general our cultures respect being, you know under the radar, humble, soft, gentle, which is all great. But it's absolutely all right to say, yes, I'm ambitious, I want to do better, I want to grow, and not have to apologize for that. So I think these would be my two pieces of advice.
I love it. Being unapologetic. Amazing. Thank you, Divya. So, Fanny, you have been with Johnson Controls since 2002, and in your 20 years career in the organization, you have shown immense growth. So, how has working at JCI all these years helped you thrive in this industry and create your success?
Thank you, Sabrina. So it will be a 20-year story. I'm trying to make it shorter. So as we mentioned, I started my career with Johnson Control, as an engineer in training. For me, it has been a great learning journey, in Johnson Control. I have been provided many opportunities, to excel, to upskill myself, from a very junior engineer to a senior one, and then to the leader role. So all the growth just happened step by step. I joined in Johnson Control in China at a very early stage of company build up. That time the company actually was in heavy need of talents to develop, the competency to support the tremendous market growth. It means you have a lot of opportunities to learn, to do and growth with company. I still remember, I joined a 2-year EIT program when I joined in Johnson Control, and I have opportunities, working in different functions, different products with different people. I think that was a good start for me, to get a better flavor of what's my interest in the company and in the industry. I can tell you, I even got the chance to assemble a compressor. This is a total mechanical machine, and I have ever, operate a rotor machine into machine parts. So in the past 20 years, I have been encouraged and supported to practice and develop myself through doing many different projects, in different scope with different people, especially those, major projects set up as milestones, that sprung up from zero. Like, for example, the first product introduced to China, the first self, development product, or the first, facility and production line establishment, these projects were quite challenging, but what I have learned was huge. I have opportunity to experience every step, in the entire product life cycling, from concept, design, production, and phase out. So by working with, a lot of cross-function team globally, I really learned a lot. It has been a learning curve. If we look at, from local to global, from introduction to self design, from regional, from a member role to a leading role. So it was, yeah. I always love to actually to try out new things, just, outside of my current responsibility, like, why I took the role being WGN director for AEC. This is the other greatest thing, to, help to empower women in the workplace. I think my interest in working in technology and Johnson Control has only increased over years, since I started. Even after 20 years, I still realize there's so much thing, to learn. Actually, I still enjoy a lot of, great moments, of delivering products or solutions to the customer, and make it happen from concept to the real product, to meet our, customer, needs. So it's very clear for me in Johnson Control, you have opportunity to develop yourself, you have opportunity to expand your knowledge. So for me, GSI is like a cradle of cultivating talents. So I'm glad to see my value here. This is quite about my personal story in Johnson Control. Sabrina?
Thank you, Fanny, to condense your 20-year story in 2 minutes. You do a great job. So, panelists, we are moving into our final part of our fireside chat, how to excel and advance a career in the tech industry. So we have heard it many times in the past. We are at a unique and transformative moment in history where technology is shaping and transforming our career as we speak. Look at what we're using now to speak to everybody. And this means that we have to be ready for anything and adaptable to the constant change around us. So panelists, what do you all project for the future landscape of technology for women in Asia? Cicci?
Yeah, thank you, Sabrina. Yeah, that is a very good question, and also, yeah, that is something we always think in our mind as well. What's this, the future landscape for active women in Asia? And as Divya mentioned, in Asia we have a traditional those mindset, especially, yeah, maybe from the parents or this community instead of women, ourselves. But I would still see that in the future we have a beautiful future for women in tech in Asia, because those surroundings already changed. So we have these COVID situations, and in Asia in general we control well. But this is also give us a lot of this opportunity to have a more virtual instead of these physical things. And this is the new trends like digitalizations, like these sustainabilities. So a lot of those new things is requires these mental, strengths instead of muscles. So we could have those very good strengths from the women, especially in terms of these sophisticated, those technology and mindset and experience, multitaskers. That is the strength from all these women. Of course, we still, don't see men as our, competitor. Men is our allies as well. So we could work well with the, them together. And also that just give us, everyone a very beautiful future. So we would see this is, women's power eventually will be, the people's power, men and the women.
So for how I see the trend, I think that we will continue to see a more balanced workforce moving forward. And for sure, there will be more women leaders in tech. So for us women, this is a great time, and there's really no limit for growth. So what's also exciting is that we ourselves can help to accelerate this process even faster. So my simple advice is, like I said before, the 3 elements: be curious, keep learning, and be brave. Just do it.
So I will just say, remember one thing, technology is changing so fast. So it's a big advantage for anyone who's interested in keeping up with that change, who has that change mindset, because it's a level playing field. Nobody knows about these new technologies. Everyone is going to have to learn. There is no one set of the population, male or anyone, who knows about these areas. So I think it's a great advantage. So, the people who are open to change, who are open to learning, who quickly keep up with the industry trends, are going to be able to succeed. So there is the question of biases, who can do better in this field, who can make a better engine, doesn't exist anymore in the new world. I think it's a huge advantage. I think it's a huge level playing field. It's all about stepping into that field. So to me, that's the future of technology, at least.
Yes, that's very positive for women in tech. Thank you, Divya. Penny?
Yes, I think, it's a new world, right? So the technology is changing every single day. So like the digitalization, big data, and the zero carbon building technology, I think that, bring a lot of opportunities for women. So just I share, what Chloe, mentioned, keep learning, just stay curious on what you don't know, and break the boundary. And the other last thing I want to emphasize is really is confidence. Okay, so women should not be afraid to any failure, right? So make sure we can just learn from that. So I think if women don't hold them back by themselves, nobody can, right? So yeah, just
Love it.
go ahead.
Love it. Thank you so much, Penny, and all the panelists for your very inspiring and empowering sharing. So audience, we only left with a few minutes for Q&A, but I think I'll keep the panel here for a little while because we receive a lot of questions from the participants when they register for the event. So I'm going to ask as many as I can, and feel free to drop in any questions that you have for the panelists as well to the chat box. And we'll try to pick out some of them and have the panelists to answer. So panelists, the audience want to know how they can find out about growth opportunities at Johnson Controls.
Yes, Sabrina, there's a lot of these opportunity in Johnson Controls. We're a company transforming from this previous industry to this digital world. So we not only have this traditional business, we also have a new business, new segments. So we recruiting those talents and from different perspectives. So that's a very good opportunity for everybody to be part of these Johnson Controls and also working together with us to have those better future. Yeah. Then we have a very strong team in TA, so that's we could also working together with Hub the Sky, and that's very important channel for us. And as Johnson Controls, we have a certain task for everyone to have a woman in our organizations. So we really hope that more women talents can join us and also be our very important and strong leader.
Absolutely, I'm going to echo that. I think as a company, we are very clear. We are not, we are very, very clear that we want to hire more women. And, just find out what are the opportunities and apply. You may not get every job that you apply for, but you're not going to get any job that you did not apply for, right? So, find out what's out there and remember that we are looking for bright, smart women who want to do more. There are actually a lot of processes in place to ensure that we have met with women for key roles and that we have evaluated women, and at the end of it maybe we did not find anybody. So make sure you apply. That's the point I'm making. Find out of course all of there is a all jobs are published in our internal system, Teleo. But also talk. I mean, once you see a job that you're really interested in, find out more. Talk to the talent acquisition recruiter who's handling it. Talk to your manager. How can I find out more about this job? So take that extra effort. Find out how you can be on the slate. But remember that as a company, we now strongly believe that we want to support our women. We want external, internal candidates, and we will make sure you get your voice, you come to the table, you're interviewed, you have an opportunity to show us why you're the right person.
Thank you. And panelists, what's the difficult challenges in your journey as a female leader so far, and how do you all overcome them?
I think I don't really face any, challenges in particular as a female leader, but I think something that definitely helps is to for women to speak up more and let your voice be heard.
And I want to add one, about the, maybe challenge. Because, women are typically empathy, understanding or able to build up very good relationship with others. So when dealing with very difficult situation, probably, female leaders tend to keep everybody happy. So we know it's very difficult, right? And that may bring a lot of emotion, pressure. So I think we don't have to do that, right? The most important thing is to focus on the target. You use the data and the factor to make more effective decisions. You prove your value, and finally, you will convince everybody. So it is,
Thank you, Fanny. And panelists, I'm sure this question is in the audience mind the entire time. How can we all get the support from our male counterparts?
Divya, you want to go first?
Yeah, maybe if I can try answering that, I actually think our male counterparts, most people want to help. They see themselves as people who want to support their colleagues, male or female. I think it's a lot about the unspoken. I think we don't ask for help. I don't think we articulate. Like the example I tried to give about, managers not giving difficult projects because they're trying to help their female colleagues. Um, in situations like that, make sure that your managers, your colleagues, your male colleagues know that whatever, for example, that you have a system in place where you can take on more assignments, or that you are looking for growth, so you're looking for interesting assignments. So it's about the communication. I'm saying ask for help. When I say help, it may not be direct help, it may just be articulating your expectations, or your challenges, etc. So that would be my advice. Just be open. And yes, there will be some colleagues, male colleagues, who still don't get it and may not be able to support. But I think more than often we will find that they do actually want to support and help.
Any input from the panelists?
Yeah, Sabrina, I totally agree with Divya. It's it's okay. As I said earlier, it's okay to ask for clarifications, to ask for help, to ask those difficult questions to your male, colleagues, counterparts. That's those difficulties everybody could have this chance to face. And just you're gonna to be professional. I think when you ask the question, you need to think this through. Not that this is an emotional question. You're gonna to have those, question. You have your, preparation. You have your pre-study, and also you could have a certain, maybe constructive suggestion as well. So you could get this respect from these male colleagues or boss. Then you can also ask for those resources as well. Yeah, as long as you consider that is the necessary tools and the resources for the team to build up a strong capability. So that is just we're gonna to overcome those internal barriers. Then we could have a very good conversation with these male counterparties. Yeah.
That's great. And we have received some live questions actually from the audience. So one of the question is, what do you look out for in candidate resume that you deem as a good fit for Johnson? Divya, you can take this question.
I'm sure any of my colleagues here can, but I think we've talked a lot about most of them. I think passion. I think Chloe talked a lot about that. I think learning agility, the ability to learn, to change. I think these two things, definitely, of course, a growth mindset. I mean, which is the same thing. The wanting to grow, to do new things, to learn new areas, because someone coming in has to learn about our company, our culture, our product lines, all of that. Yeah, so I think those would be the things. I mean, the generic things. Obviously, there are some specific things for each role that we would look for. But I think that's what, and I think, yeah, of course, I mean, goes without saying, the ability to get along, to work in teams. Johnson Controls is definitely it's a large company, so the ability to work with other people becomes more and more important.
Thank you so much for all the sharings, and panelists and audience. We're slightly overrun, so we are going to wrap up for today. And Bianca, would you mind putting up the slide?
All right. So yes, thank you so much, Sabrina and panelists. That was such an amazing discussion. I'm sure the audience has so much gems to carry forward with them, and we definitely learned a lot about being a woman in tech, and we have a lot to carry forward with us. So thank you so much to everyone. And of course, the audience, thank you for making time to join us today for such a great thought-provoking session. So up on the screen, we have some QR codes that you connect with Johnson Controls. So we have the LinkedIn, the Twitter, and the WeChat group. So you could follow them, hear about the newest career updates through these codes. And of course, don't forget, on Half the Sky, the diversity employers are still hiring and are committed to empowering women to thrive within their organizations. So they provide flexible working arrangements, equal pay initiatives, return to work policy, and many, many more initiatives. And these jobs are listed on our platform. So please go check them out. We also have a lot of resources to share with you on our platform. If you sign up on halftheskyasia.com, this is completely free, and you'll be receiving exclusive event invites. For example, this one, thought leadership content, and other resources. So again, it's completely free. And please give us a follow as well on our social media. You can access it through the QR codes. And of course, we have more events coming up this month. We do have a CV workshop, and you can check all of the details on our events page. And of course, as usual, stay tuned for more details. So once again, thank you to everyone, Johnson Controls, our panelists, and Sabrina, Cicci, Fanny, Divya, Chloe. Thank you so much. And thank you to our audience who has been here today. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Stay safe.